Welcome to the Proceed Halftime Report. If you need seed, think Proceed. With us today is the product manager of Proceed, John Flaw. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We are in fall, very, very important time, obviously, for you guys. As you're going out in the fields, how are the yields in the fields right now?
Well, geographically, they're from really bad to really good to excellent, just depending on where you're at, rainfall and heat stress. For a guy like me, corn and bean product dude, corn and bean nerd, whatever you want to call me, this is game day for us, seeing how all of our new technologies, corn hybrids, soybean varieties, stack up against the competition. I won't go undefeated, but I'll probably win
You'll
more
win
than I
another
lose.
national title, so that's good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you mentioned new technologies. You got some new soy technologies. What's going on there?
Yeah, so with all the weed resistance around the country, ragweed, water hemp, kochia, Liberty Link soybeans, and Roundup Extend. So keeping a close eye on those as they're coming in and watching the yields.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good.
All right, man. Well, I do want to add something. You are giving away these Traeger grills, which are great for the Right Choice program at Proceed. Be sure and go to proceed.net to check them out. These are phenomenal, phenomenal grills. You want to get out there, get some great seed, get a free grill with that, and obviously have some fun. So stay with us. Much more coming up here on the Proceed Halftime Report. If you need seed, think Proceed.
And welcome back into the Proceed Halftime Report. Alex Egan, Ryan Gellner here. What a weird first half that was. It was, well, the Bison have the lead 28-10, but there were some big plays by Illinois State that definitely have made this one interesting. The scoreboard, I don't think, reflects how this game has gone.
Well, we're seeing North Dakota State's defensive backs get tested a little bit. We knew that was going to be the case. As these defensive backs grow, it'll be interesting to see how far they come by the end of the season. But Illinois State right now picking at the Bison defensive backs, but the Bison offense just simply responding. Easton Stick is having a career day. He'll have career numbers at the end of this football game.
All right, let's take a look at those first half highlights as we get you caught up on all of the action that was in the first half. Illinois State comes out firing. They're able to move the ball on the ground. They get down inside the red zone on the Bison in their first offensive possession. Not bad running here.
Attacking the middle of that Bison defense. A new linebacker, try to run it right at him. Come right down the middle, see what happens.
This is good stuff here by the Redbirds, but the Bison defense holds to a field goal, which is key. And then Easton Stick, as you mentioned, having himself a day.
Nate Jensen there, 2 catches for him so far. And then Easton just extending plays with his feet. That's what's so impressive about him.
This is a good job here. King Frazier running the ball hard as he gets the Bison train kind of going. Here is the touchdown play. This is a 31-yard jet sweep end-around play to Darius Shepard.
Those tight ends out front finding blocks, and then Shep is gone.
31 yards. That gives the Bison a 7-3 lead, and then the Bison defense, well, there's some holes in it.
There's the middle.
But they do kind of flex their muscles towards the end of a drive here as we get going. But Illinois State, to their credit, they come back and they answer here. This is an impressive drive. 8 plays, 81 yards. It only takes 3 minutes off of it, and then they find the cushion there. Colby
Expose
to
the middle.
Anthony Fowler there.
And throw it down the field.
Yeah, 18 yards on the reception. Eric Perkins is having himself a day on special teams. Good kick return here on the following kick return, and then all Easton needs is one play to go 65 yards.
That is perfect.
Yeah, shades of 11 who's in the house taking this one in.
8 of 10, he's found 6 different receivers so far.
Yeah, it's not bad as terms of spreading the ball out, and then the defense coming to play here. This is a fumble deep inside NDSU territory, kind of shuts down that Illinois State drive, and then NDSU capitalize again. Up top, that's Lance Dunn.
Nice touch.
After that makes it a 21-10 score. Not lost in all of this. Cam Peterson still perfect on PATs today. And then Chase Morlock, who was listed as the starting fullback.
He hasn't had a lot of looks at fullback.
He really has.
They do what they do. Line him up wherever they need him and let him go.
Easton Stick doing it on the ground as well. And then his arm's not so bad either.
Look at this touch again. Great ball up over Jensen again.
That there, a 35-yard touchdown pass with 27 seconds to go to make it a 28-10 halftime score. Let's take a look at the first half stats brought to you by the North Dakota State Seed Department. The tale of the tape here. The rushing numbers for Illinois State, just 40. They had 35, but they got a 5-yard run there right at the close of the first half. The passing yards are big, and that is alarming, I think, if you're Chris Kleiman in this halftime.
Yeah, 198 passing yards. We're starting to see a little bit of a trend that we saw start with Eastern Washington, and now almost 200 yards already for Illinois State. They attacked the middle, and then they started going after the Bison defensive backs. So far, that's worked. I'd be surprised if the Bison don't switch something defensively to try to shore that up. On the flip side of things, how about NDSU's total offense? Easton Stick is 8 of 10, 221 yards. Like I said, he'll have a career day by the end of this. 3 touchdowns already for Stick. And spreading the football around. The tight ends are involved in this football game. Nate Jensen already has 2 catches for 49 yards.
R.J. Erzendowski leading the way for the Bison. 2 catches for 75 yards, or 70 yards, excuse me. Of course, that's helped out by the 165-yard catch. Want to bring your attention to the penalties. That was an issue the last home game against Eastern Washington. It was not an issue against Iowa, just 1 penalty. 2 penalties already this half, just for 10 yards. But those, in a game like this, you got to be careful with what you're doing.
So far, pretty clean game for both teams. The Bison, like you said, just 2 penalties. They'll take that right now, although I would argue that, hey, knock a wide receiver down. Take a penalty on defense. Get your hands on some of those defensive backs. Have to get their hands on some of those wide receivers. And if the Bison can do that, I think that's a penalty at this point that you could take.
We spotlighted Anthony Warham in the beginning during the pregame show. 4 catches for 70 yards. He's been targeted 6 times, so just 2 incompletions towards him. And Anthony Fowler, 4 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown. So
it's the year of the wide receiver.
It really
is. It's the year of the wide receiver.
It really is. We're going to step aside. We take a break, and we'll take you around the valley next with Missouri Valley Play right here on the Proceed Halftime Report. Welcome back inside the Proceed Halftime Report. We're going to quickly take you around the valley. First, we're going to show you those conference standings as Indiana State sits atop of them with the luxury of the win. Oh, I guess we won't show you that. Let's show you the scores. Actually, this is a 24-14 game at Terre Haute. Missouri State with a lead, a 10-point lead. That game was 10-7 when we walked out here for the start of halftime, and that's all of a sudden become 24-14. An interesting one there. South Dakota travels to Youngstown State. That game will kick off here in just a few minutes. Our next game, 2 sets of games as we're all in Valley Play. Southern Illinois at Northern Iowa. Western Illinois goes to South Dakota State. Let's get you back out to the Fargo Dome. It's second half action. Brian Shawn leads him.